Okay, before we start the video, let me just quickly say this. Yes, we're starting now. Before my introduction, I am fully aware of how social media works. Sometimes people listen to 60 seconds of something or read a title and jump in the comments without even hearing everything. So let me just say this before my introduction. Every single thing that's happening for Porsha right now in her life is amazing. It is not her fault that Kenya Moore chose to quit the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it's not her fault either that Bravo is choosing to make her the star for this season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta and paint this beautiful and amazing picture of her and her relationship and all of that. And it's not her fault that what you see on TV is what she's presenting. So Bravo don't have no negative clip to go off of. This is exactly what Porsha and Dennis talked about behind the scenes. Now we're gonna go out there and you're gonna represent and show me love like no other, because I've been through hell. And that's what you're gonna do. And that's the narrative we're gonna go with. So everything that's happening in Porsha's life, congratulations, and I'm happy for her. Yes, I might not be here for Porsha sometimes, but I'm not a hater, and there's no way I'm gonna sit here and blame her for anything. However, I did see some people who support Kenya Moore with the, man, kudos to Porsha, but after watching this movie called Kenya Moore, I wish I could have also seen her happy ending. I'm not speaking for me literally. I'm talking about those people saying, I wish we could have seen her happy ending. The same way how Porsha is seeing her happy ending on screen. Okay, so for those of you who no longer watch the show, let me just set up the reason why I'm doing this video. So on Sunday's episode was the episode where Porsha revealed to her fiance that they were expecting their first child together. And it was this special moment, and people crying and all of that. So basically that led to people having different types of feeling about it, like, happy for Porsha, great. And then you have people on the other side saying it would have been nice to see, Kenya's, basically. So that's where this whole thing about me saying, you know what, let me do a video, because I saw a lot of comments like that. And so I was like, you know what, let me just put a video out there and have a conversation with Team Twirl. And so that's all I'm doing. And my theory is that's all beautiful, but I 100% believe that Kenya Moore would not have received the peaceful, beautiful narrative that Porsha currently have. They would have twisted and turned every little disagreement or moment in Kenya and Mark's relationship, and it was going to be the happy Porsha Williams show over here with her relationship. And then when it comes to Kenya, it would have been the terrible situation, because one, they're still mad at her for certain things, like the wedding. And they would have still been mad at her with that, harsh negotiation process. So Bravo is not really a Kenya Moore fan. So I really do believe that this is a blessing in disguise. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into my introduction and then deeper into the video. My Fina Loves is Miss Fina D, coming to you all from Fina Entertainment News. So let's go ahead and talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta real quick. Now, I had said that I was only going to, watch the show because of Greg. Well, now that I know what's going on with Greg and all of that, all I can do is pray for him. But I couldn't really get through the last episode. I don't know, there's just this disconnect, and I keep saying it every week when I talk about them. It have nothing to do with drama, because at this point, if you've been visiting my page and see how I handle the news and cover celebrity news and story, I'm not about the drama. I'm about laughter, light shade, and fun over here. So it's not necessarily what I'm looking for, but there's just this disconnect from this season that even when I try to get through this episode, I just couldn't. I tried, but the little bits and pieces that I saw, I will talk about it. Now, the title, when I wrote Team Twirl Getting Here, or Let's Chat, I understand. Okay, I understand. Kenya Moore, had this journey and people lying on her and all of these things just for her to meet a handsome husband, you know what I'm saying, and have all of these amazing blessings and for her not to be there. And I know most of you don't watch the show, but a few of you that watch the show, for you to then see. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure those of you who feel a certain way don't have no ill will towards Porsha. You might not be here for her, which is okay, understandable, but it's another woman having a child, so there's no hatred there. But for you guys to then watch the show, to see the woman who dragged Kenya Moore, now they've all moved on, so we don't have to keep bringing that up, but to see her now, she gets to announce her pregnancy on camera. Her reaction, his reaction is seen. She gets to have this happy ending, all of these things on camera. Whereas Kenya Moore, who you guys have had this long journey with, don't have that. Listen to me. This is a blessing in disguise for Kenya. Kudos to Porsha, okay? Even with everything that's going on with Porsha and all of the other girls, there's still this disconnect and the ratings is up and down. But when someone or people don't like you, they're not here for you, they don't see it for you, your story will never be seen in the same light. So I guarantee you 100%, had Kenya Moore accepted their offer and been a part of the season, she would not have gotten the same display of love that you are seeing with the Porsha side. They would have turned and nitpick at everything and make it look like here's Porsha over here, happy in love, pregnant, and all of that, about to be a wife. And here's Kenya Moore over here, a wife, pregnant, but is miserable. That's exactly how that season would have been. Now, for those of you who might say, but Vina, the producers, can't force you to do things. So if you're nasty, you're nasty. This is my point. For example, for some of you who saw the video I posted of Kenya Moore and Mark having a light shade / funny disagreement on a baby shower team where Kenya killed it. Her ideas was amazing, and the vision, and when reality set in, everything was just on a different level. I've never seen a baby shower on that level before. I'm not going to insert different footage in here to, avoid making the video too long. I do have an entire playlist on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So for those of you who want to go and watch those videos, go ahead and watch it. So for us who saw Kenya and Mark on Instagram Live, it was funny to us. We were like, oh my God, Mark is funny. He's joking with Kenya. It was just fun. But almost every single headline I read had the title of, oh wow, I hope everything is okay. Kenya Moore argues with her husband publicly on Instagram Live. Kenya Moore husband, this is her Instagram Live. Kenya Moore husband disrespect her on Instagram Live. I mean, it was crazy. But majority of the time when you click on those headlines and you read the comments, the people in the comments had enough sense, and they were like, okay, we get it, you guys use Kenya Moore for clicks, but come on now, it's obvious that the man was joking with his wife. So the people watching saw that it was just a joke. But can you imagine if that footage fell in the hands of producers. Can you imagine the cuts and edits and bits and pieces that they would have tried to edit and piece together and make this worst episode ever about Kenya and her husband not getting along? Can you imagine Kenya trying to put the perfect baby shower together? Okay, and maybe being stressed or upset that things are not coming together the way she planned, and those moments being picked up, and it wouldn't have been the same display that you are seeing now. Okay, all you're seeing is nothing but love on Porsha and in her relationship, and Kenya Moore and Mark who come on there and be loving and all of that, but they were still going to find a way that in those moments where they had real life issues and discussions, they would have put that in there. You're going to be this person this season. As you can see, Candy is the villain this season. That's what they're trying to put out there. Are you trying to tell me that every dinner, every event, Candy is bringing up Porsha? No. There are long conversations that people are having, but the moment Porsha names get mentioned, that entire conversation is edited out, and they're only adding and bringing up the part where Candy says Porsha, because the narrative this season is this is Candy time to go after Porsha because of all of the things that Porsha did to her, a season or so ago. Just understand that in order to also make the show exciting, sometimes social media beef, or exchange might come up and all of these different things. Can you imagine being married, having a newborn baby, but having to go on social media to defend yourself, defend your husband, defend your family, going back and forth? Can you imagine all that stress? So I understand some of you, I shouldn't say hurt and pain, but to be honest with you, there are some people who really feel some type of way that Brad will just completely try to go after Kenya and do this and just basically hand it over, her story. That there you go, Porsha. If you can get pregnant within this time frame, here you go. So I get it, guys, but just see this as a blessing in disguise, because Kenya would not have received the same narrative that Porsha is receiving. It would have been happy Georgia over here, and happy Georgia at Porsha house, and miserable, on the verge of divorce, and all of the disgusting things she didn't think about. It's a blessing in disguise for Kenya. I understand how you all feel. You follow her journey for such a long time, and it's not fair, but completely understand and trust and believe me that there's a light at the end of the tunnel for Kenya Moore. I'm fully aware that for a contract, her contract and certain reasons, she's going to chill right now. But once, she can film and do things, you are going to see everything that happened in Kenya's life that she chooses to share, whether it's her own show or it's a special where she's sitting with someone and showing footage and things like that, like how Oprah did with Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. Whatever the case might be, Kenya Moore's story will still be seen. But next year, Kenya and Mark is going to celebrate their second wedding anniversary. So that's 2 years and 8 months, or whatever the case might be, they would have been together. 2 years of marriage, and they got married within, she said, 7 or 8 months of being together. So they would have been together for almost 3 years. That's not a long time, but that's still a decent time, especially in Hollywood years, for these two to have built a foundation, really gotten to know each other, really gotten to know their on and off buttons, really have had arguments and disagreements, same things, to the point where they have had conversations of, okay, do we really want to do this? Do we really want this? And I think they're in a good place. That even though I don't want Kenya on reality TV, because, when you're showing your marriage, nothing can break it. But reality TV just add a certain thing that sometimes just can take your marriage in a negative direction. But I think at this point they have built a firm foundation that if they were to give it a shot, I think it will be great compared to, I just met this guy, I've only known him for 7 or 8 months, I'm already his wife. Okay, we are still learning about each other, but there you go, I'm going to throw you out there on reality TV. They would have basically been learning about each other on TV. Okay, and it would not have been a good look. It would have been disaster. Oh my God, disaster. Period. So I'm glad that she was smart enough and he was smart enough to say, no, I'm not doing it. So if they do come back, and if she decides to come back, I think they have a decent foundation. With Bravo already being upset about not cashing in on Kenya Moore's wedding, then they went through this very draining negotiation process, and let's just say she finally said yes. Through all of those ups and downs, do you really think she was going to get a beautiful edit? Absolutely not. If Kenya is going to tell her love story, or Mark and Kenya are going to tell their love story, it needs to be told in an amazing way. I'm not saying, don't be real. I'm just saying it needs to be told in an amazing way where it's presented with the truth. And I know some people might be like, come on, it's just reality TV. Are you serious? There were people who really cared about Kenya that much, that felt some type of way. It's almost like watching a movie. If you're watching a movie and the ending is just in a way that is not satisfying, you're going to talk about how that made you feel. Some people get frustrated. Really? I just wasted hours of my time for this movie to end this way. Are you serious right now? That's basically what's going on. You're in it. Oh, Bravo, you were willing to pay her all this money when she was being trashed, or when you were putting her out there as the villain. When she was single, you kept her an entire season of not having a man and just saying she have an African boyfriend that she intentionally kept away from the camera. Nene Leakes did see him but did not want to confirm, and eventually Kenya got it out of her and she was like, yeah, I saw him in LA. A whole season she did not show that man. Bravo kept her and even gave her a raise. But when she finally get a husband and everything, then that's when they want to mess with her because she trusts. So I understand that ending to the Kenya Moore story and movie wasn't what all of you wanted, but they deserve to have a beautiful story be told, and I don't think Bravo is the best place for that story to be told. But if they do decide to come back, if Kenya do decide to come back and give Bravo a chance, I personally feel like her relationship have a little bit of a solid foundation and some strength going on, where she will be strong enough to handle the criticism. Basically, in a nutshell, Kenya, you chose not to share your happy beginning with us. This is basically what Bravo is saying to Kenya. Not what I'm saying. This is how Bravo feels about this whole situation. When you met your husband, you were on a reality TV show. And as much as that comes with risks and, backlash and people talking and stress and all of that, you chose to keep your happy beginning from us. So why should we give you a happy ending? Did you consider our feelings when you were having your happy beginnings? Did you consider our feelings when you ran off and got married and kept all of that away from us and away from your supporters, the people that had their Bravo not give Kenya her happy ending? If Kenya cared, then why did she get married secretly? She would have made it this major celebration situation for everyone. You know what I'm saying? So then why should we care about a happy ending? We don't care. However, you are good TV though, and you bring in a rating. So, we're going to bring you back, but this is what we're willing to pay you. And Kenya was like, no. So that's it. And so in a way, I see both sides. But when it comes to your life and things that are really valuable and serious and priceless, then all of that other stuff goes out of the window. So I completely understand why. I think what Kenya was trying to do is she was going to have her private ceremony. Okay? Then she was going to come back, let Bravo know, listen, I met a guy, I'm happy, I'm in love, this is what happened, but I'm willing to have a huge celebration on TV for Bravo cameras. You guys can still have your moment, okay? And probably during our wedding or during like one of the festivities, then one of us would just come in the mic and say, by the way, we already had our private ceremony, but we just wanted to have, a big ceremony publicly for our supporters and our families and friends and just everyone to come. I think that's where Kenya was going, but once again, the images were leaked and things happen this way, and it's all God's plan because God knows exactly what he was doing, and everything worked out great because under no circumstances with her situation and high risks and all of that did she need to be on that show around any type of mess dealing with a high risk pregnancy. So everything worked out and happened for a reason. Now whatever else God has in stores for Kenya Moore and Mark, we are looking forward to that. But I just had to come on here and have this conversation with my team Twirl, or people who just support Kenya Moore and her family, period, that certain things that Kenya can't do and all of those things because of the contract. So 2019 is almost here, and we shall see what Kenya can now do now that it's been, a while since her contract, ended. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here, my final loves. I'm wishing you all an amazing day. Thank you all for the love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post your way that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.